What is the difference between accounts and finance?
So the 1 rupee is a generation of finance. So we have generated 1 rupee. Finance has a huge scope. It's not like it's a very small area. There is a huge opportunity.
Banking. Still actually 55% of our banking is under PSCs. Do you feel we are a bit slow in actually bringing reforms?
As I said, we have to generate the finance from risk to opportunity. They should go for a practical knowledge and then go for the textbook knowledge. So they should accept the corporate also. Then only corporate will accept them.
First impressions last long. This finance field is very big. It's not limited. And with the kind of reforms that we are embracing, the field is increasing and the sky is the limit. Good afternoon. Today we have with us Mr. Manoj Singh. He has a very strong background in investment banking. He is the founder and currently CEO of Agora Capital. They handhold corporate who are intending to raise capital, typically IPOs, and there are many companies, more than 100 companies whom they would actually take through this path over the next couple of years. So we are fortunate to have somebody who has caught his teeth in the real world of finance. So let's pick his brains. So welcome, Mr. Singh.
We are very happy to associate with you in terms of supporting you for the finance study and also give exposure to your finance student in terms of SIP and also some tricks about the corporates, behavior and also the etiquette. So thank you for calling us.
I just overheard the way you were explaining how finance is different from accounts. What is the difference between accounts and finance? What is this conundrum of finance and accounts in your own simple words?
Keep the things in a governance structure and also put it in a systematic way so that it is taken care everything in terms of as per the accounting policy and guidelines. Because most of the accounting numbers will go for an audit whenever it is required, and that has to be taken care by the accounts team so that audits goes well. So that is called accounts. Now here the discussion is account versus finance. Let's say a small bottle of water, manufacturing cost of that water bottle is, let's say it is a 5 rupees. So that is converted into bill of material, that is called BOM. Let's say BOM is a 5 rupees and I will sell it to the brand who is already associated with us is a 6 rupees. So the 1 rupee is a generation of finance. So we have generated 1 rupee. Then again it will go to brand to distribution. So there will be a margin because brand has to sell it to distributor. So there will be, let's say the 6 rupees is converted into 8 rupees. So 2 rupees is generated there also. And from again distribution it will go to dealer networks. So dealer network will also sell it at the 10 rupees. So 8 rupees converted at the 10 rupees. So you can see in the reverse calculation, okay. The 5 rupees of the product has generated the finance of the another 5 rupees. So that is called finance. So finance has a huge scope. It's not like it's a very small area, and we need to see how to generate the finance in terms of our business, development of the business, future growth, how we can do the financial modeling. It is called the finance.
So I have a curated list of questions actually, which has
please.
been very carefully prepared by our subject chair, Professor K.K. Roy. But before I go into that, sir, there are some other things like I'm very curious. BFSI, actually, when we talk about this financial industry, we often hear this BFSI.
Right.
Because you are the person actually who is day in, day out, you are actually dealing with all these things. Why don't you slightly demystify this BFSI for our audience?
So especially in the banking industry or maybe in the financial industry. So BFSI is a banking, financial service and insurance. BFSI has this 4 words which has a specialization in the each sector like banking. So we have to cover the entire in a banking part, right from the banking operation to governance to risk to client acquisition. Then we have a finance. Finance will cover the entire part like right from your capital market, corporate finance, other loan and the other credits facilities like a OD or maybe drop line OD, that is called finance. Services is more like a regulatory side, how the financial industry operated under the regulatories. So like banks operated under the RBI governance, capital market operated under the SEBI guidelines, insurance operated under the IRDA. So services is more towards that, and also see the governance as well. So how the corporate governance are working, how the other CSR activities and things are in place or not. And the insurance is exclusive about the understanding the insurance industry. That is the not only the sales side, also at the back end side in the insurance. So insurance, like we need to see how the underwriting is working, what are the insurance are mandatory in India. For example, we have a motor vehicle insurance, we have a life insurance, we have a general insurance for the healthcare. This is on the individual perspective. But if you leave this individual perspective life insurance, there are so many insurance are involved. There is a transit insurance, there is a fire and burglary insurance, there are agriculture insurance. These are the bigger things, okay, which is still it is not so, people are not able to acquire those things from the open market, but these are the insurances are there. House insurance is also
Other
there.
than fire.
Other than the fire.
Okay.
Then we have securitized insurance, then we have credit insurance. So there are so many insurance are there. So if you see the insurance has a broader picture, but it might take some time people to understand what is the main strength of the insurance. But if you look at in overall perspective, insurance itself is a huge industry in India, and like there is so many gaps, still it is not been taken care. Maybe insurance industry, or maybe insurance advisors, or maybe insurance expert. But now if you see the how the dynamics are getting changed, now already you could see there is a insurance tech is already there. Okay, so they are reaching out to each and every area, and they are trying to understand how the things can be make it more easy to supply the insurance, and people should opt for insurance. So if you could look at in a different way of this, so our finance student can also accelerate their career into insurance industry as well. Why? Because lots of back end things are there, like underwriting is there, assessment is there. So these are comes under the finance. As I said, to have to generate the finance from risk to opportunity. So that is where the BFSI works. Apart from this, there are so many other scopes are there in BFSI, especially the finance students. The single specialization of the finance can be cover up all these things in a very right way forward.
Last year, in the Union budget, 100% FDI in insurance was allowed.
Right.
So you are expecting big actually movements because of this 100% FDI permission. So what is your expectation? What kind of actually job opportunities would be there for our students, our MBA students who are graduating?
See, allowing FDI by the government of India, it was a great initiative, first of all. And the second, we are going to see the insurance as a really big industry, where if you could see only 2-digit number of insurance are still only is covered in India, but there is a huge opportunity.
10% are covered.
Yeah, that is a 10%, hardly 10%. So I mean 10 plus percent plus will be there. But if you could see the our population versus new industrialization hubs are coming, new startups are growing, new things are coming to the country. So insurance will have the major role play to take care of the everything. Coming from the job side in the from the back end, see if there is a growing and escalating the industry, of course by default job will be created. And these are the industry who prefer to go for an MBA finance students, and or MBA dual specialization also. Maybe somebody has done the finance and plus maybe marketing, or maybe operation, finance plus operation especially like that. So because every MBA has a different course named. So I am telling you this perspective, job opportunity will be created.
Same BFSI, actually I will ask just two more general questions, then we will go into this curated list. Banking. Still actually 55% of our banking is under PSUs. So do you feel we are a bit slow in actually bringing reforms into this banking sector? The way actually we have allowed 100% FDI, banking sector we have been very slow, and if we can really embrace similar kind of reforms, there will be huge amount of opportunities. What are your views about that?
Yeah, so if you look at banking industry, so there is a parallelly two types of banking is operating in India. One is a PSU, as you rightly said, but if you could look at, if you could see in the back end, there is a lots of amalgamation was also happened. with the merger of the PSU bank to another
Now
PSU
12
bank.
PSU.
Yeah, so 12 PSU or something like that. And still government have a further plan to merge few of the major banks with under one single entity. And also, if you could see, there's a lots of new banking has been already given the license by regulator, that is RBI. So new banks are also has come forward. There are so many banks has already come, and the private banks are already doing a lots of expansion and then reaching out to everywhere in the India, because they feel banking services is required for everyone. Every Indian should have a banking facility to transact the money, bring the transaction in official record, to maintain and bring the transparency between the Indian citizen and the government. There is a lots of opportunities are there. Apart from that, there is a lots of finance company has also come newly, who are supporting the new startup, women entrepreneurs, a small scale industry, and also some of the good startups. They are trying to help them to escalate the position to the next level. So that's what lending is also happening. When the lending happen, the economy also boost and people also grow together.
So from this, I'm gradually segueing into actually our list. So banking and insurance we have covered. In between, financial services. Financial services vis-a-vis the course curriculum or course content that we are teaching, what kind of changes you would like to have so that we are more actually aligned with the industry?
See, it's required lots of updates and upgradation, because there is lots of changes in regulatory side. There is lots of changes in the industry side also. So that exposure has to given to the students, especially for the second year students who are passing out the MBA in next few months, or maybe they are in third semester, or they are ready to go for a campus selection. So those students should be given exposure of the what are the new things are have been introduced in the BFSI. So, okay, for all four, okay, so that they are aware of it. And I also request, especially for the finance faculty and students also, to motivate your student to go and do the internship, SIP, and find out the respective industry where they really want to grow their career.
Right.
Okay, and identify the good company, go to the company and approach them to allow them to do the interns, so that they can learn industrial exposures, they can learn the industrial talent, and industries today is ready to support the students. It's not that industry is not allowing, industry is purely allowing to all the interested students.
Some questions from the curated list. It is a regular question. Handling workplace challenges. How should freshers effectively manage workplace balance, tight deadlines, constructive feedback, and inevitable mistakes while maintaining confidence and a growth mindset?
There should be a discipline. First of all, discipline is mandatory to handle this kind of situation. Apart from that, they should understand the what is the productivity line. So how it is going to assignments, that is also there. So that will come from the discipline. So my observation is people should come into discipline first of all, and they should have a situation and they should have a mindset to learn from the people who are already working under their mentorship or guidelines. So they will start learning. So they will be able to handle the any situation, because learning is already given how to handle. And if you are in a discipline, things will be handled automatically, because nowadays it is not the only manpower handling the entire. There is a mix of technology and also manpower. So both is watching the time, performance and execution. So it will be like a more like a 50-50%.
So if they are disciplined, they respect the processes,
Yes,
and
sir.
go with the flow,
Right.
and have patience, automatically results
will come out.
Reimagining education for industry readiness. If you had the opportunity to redesign the current college education system, what three key changes would you introduce to better prepare students for real world corporate environments?
I would say key changes, if it is my personal perspective, because I can only given my personal perspective. I will not ask system to change, because system has their own parameters. But if I see from my own personal experience, I should ask faculty or maybe also the students, they should go for a practical knowledge and then go for the textbook knowledge. That is the one thing. They should acquire a lots of practical work experience. They should go and feel like it is my, I'm going to do this. Practically, I'm going to focus on the finance. I'm going to learn how the finance works. So I'm just telling you the example. That's one thing. Second, they should be more like a upgrading their skill. So skill has to be given. So it has to be introduced maybe in a curriculum, maybe in their day to day. So new skill has to be aligned with the curriculum. Third, I would say, because I always recommend, send them out for an industrial training, industrial visit. At least in a year, 2 visit is required to go in a different visit. At least 10 days visit, maybe 15 days visit, because they have to complete their education also. So at least in every 6 months, one visit is required to understand how the system works, how the corporate worlds work, how the people are working, and this will help them to establish themselves in a very right position.
So on the job training, 7 days,
Yes,
10 days, they should
yes,
go, really sit in those desks,
yeah,
benches, and see, actually, not only see, if possible, actually handle those situations and have some practical exposure.
right.
Choosing the right career path. What guidance would you offer to students who feel uncertain about selecting the right career path or specialization?
See, every professional career is a good career, but here is like it's a depend on the subjective matter, what type of career they want to opt. So a specialization is always helps them to go for a right career. That's the call meaning of a specialization. So if there somebody is doing a finance, so they should be more focused to choose the right career in the finance industry or maybe related to finance. Somebody is there in a marketing, so they should align with the marketing, how marketing can help industry or maybe his career growth also. So they should align with the marketing industry. So now its time is gone. There is an industry for each and every specialization. So they have to opt the right option, then only they can be able to choose their career. As a college or as a industry, we are giving them an exposure, but also they have to opt which industry they want to go for. So that will be the right selection of the career.
Building practical experience during college. How can students gain meaningful hands-on experience during their academic years, especially when access to strong intensive or industry exposure is limited?
See, in India today, industry exposure is not limited. First of all, it has a big window. Only we need to find out the right way forward. That's the one thing. Second, industry is also supporting the institution and a student to come and learn from the industry and bring the changes. And the way technology is upgrading, so students have a good opportunity to bring those changes in the industries, because learning new thing and with the fresh mind, with the energetic mind, they can bring the new changes and new things to the industry. So industries always look forward for the upgrade. So if upgrade is coming from the young people, so industry is ready to take that adoption.
Now, from the perspective of freshers, what qualities, behaviors, or approaches help freshers distinguish themselves during the first 3 to 6 months in a corporate role? I think, as they say, first impressions last long. How can they distinguish themselves in the first couple of months?
See, it is all adopting the changes, adopting the new things. So there is no as such any tools to answer this. Somebody is coming from the BCom and doing an MBA. So it was also their own acceptance. Similar ways they go from MBA campus. So they should accept the corporate also. Then only corporate will accept them. So it is like a more like a building a relationship between the corporate life to personal life or personal life to corporate life. So that is how the things get balanced.
And I think we can also add what you have already said, that if they are disciplined,
Yes,
if
sir.
they have got an internship, they turn up in time, no
So
compromise.
discipline is required at every place. So discipline is required.
So that is how they can distinguish
Yeah.
themselves. Now, evaluating workplace culture. How can freshers assess whether an organization offers a healthy work culture during the interview process? What are the key indicators of a positive environment, and what red flags should they be cautious about?
And the good environment comes from the good corporate. First of all, good corporate adopt the new people. That is the indication. Second, allowing them to bring the opportunity, or opportunity is already brought for them. This is called good indication. Also, they are ready to call and appoint as one of the new member within the corporate family, and educate them to the next level to learn, get the trainings, try to adopt the system, how the system is going to support you. These are the good means positive indication, and I feel the good corporates does this.
And today, actually, a lot of things are already available in the public domain.
Yes.
Like we know offhand that if it is Google, they have already got year after year, they get actually best employer award. So many things are clear. But if it is a smaller firm, perhaps they have to do some opinion shopping and find out what kind of a corporate culture they have.
See, the smaller firms, they will, it will give a window to learn. The smaller firms
Right.
will give a lots of exposure to how to learn the work. And that is also sometime I feel, being a fresher, they should join a growing company rather than join the huge established join, because in a growing company, they will be directly linked to the system, so that they can learn, they can opt the experience. But if you go for a big corporates, it is, you have to work for a system.
Only one vertical they
Yes,
will
one vertical will be
They
there.
will not let you work in different other areas.
Yeah.
Whereas if it is a smaller growing organization, that same person may get opportunity to work across the verticals,
Exactly.
go through the entire value chain and understand the process better.
Yes, and it will be like they will be engaged in everything. So it is good to have some time, if they want to, learn the work.
What are the essential corporate etiquettes? What are the fundamental workplace etiquettes every fresher should be aware of, particularly in areas such as communication, meeting conduct, professional appearance, and maintaining boundaries? Because now I hear actually when firms like Infosys, they recruit people from NIT, Raulkela and all the places. First, they run them through a very rigorous actually etiquette training. Because these people, though they might be very brilliant, but they might not know actually what not to ask, what to ask, and how to conduct themselves in actually public, all those kind of things. So what are the basic etiquettes that you would suggest these youngsters so that they don't actually create forgettable experiences?
They should follow the code of conduct of the organization, because every organization has a code of conduct, and that code of conduct will take care of the entire journey, okay, right from beginning to end, okay. And also they should follow the instruction of the corporates, what are the instructions are given. And I would say, apart from these 2 points, let's not be in a hurry. Just try to understand what is the corporate expectation from the new team. So that will help them to avoid the mistakes, and they will maintain the corporate etiquettes and also ethics as well.
Making finance and technical learning more inclusive. How can academic institutions teach technical subjects like finance in a way that encourages curiosity, builds strong conceptual clarity, and creates a safe environment where students from all backgrounds feel confident to ask questions and actively participate? Because this is what also sometimes we find that many of our students, because of whatever thing like cultural background, etc., they don't open themselves off. How can actually we as teachers actually create those kind of enabling environments?
We should provide them a comfort to come and approach. Point number one. And I feel somewhere it should be also like a open session. What is their expectation? Let's have maybe once in a month open question throwing kind of thing, for 30 minutes or maybe 60 minutes. Okay. So they should also feel we are allowed to talk. And if we are allowed to talk, so somebody is ready to listen to us. So that that blocker has to be removed. Sometimes what happens, a student will not be able to open up in front of their faculty or maybe a classroom, because it has their own fear. They feel like, okay, maybe they feel bad or maybe they take it in a negative way. But if you allow them to talk once in a month, whatever negative, positive it is there, you please talk today, okay, and there is no action to it. Only the action will be how to take the feedback and make the changes and bring the changes. It will help a student to connect a lot in a very comfortable position, and they can do a wonderful in their career and also in the during their education time.
So perhaps actually if we invite people like you, industry experts, more often and expose our students, then they will actually go out of that restricting thing, then gradually they will open up.
Yeah, because they will be comfortably open with some is outside from the
outside the classroom.
Yeah, outside the classroom, and that should be technically for that purpose only. Okay, fine, you people want, take the feedback and work on that, how it can be resolve the issue.
So what would be your message to our students? Now you have a roughly some idea about we have been in this field for quite some time, and we have been doing reasonably well. We are well ranked, and consistently we are trying to improve ourselves. But somebody who has that rings out view, because being insiders, we might be actually, we may have our own blind spots. So being an industry expert, what would be your advice to our students?
See, advice to a student from my side will be, they are at the right campus, and I believe they are getting all the exposure. Only the thing is, they should try to be a more open kind of situation, create a situation where they can, all the facility whatever the KSOM is having, it should be accessed and utilized. Okay, and also get connected with their alumni who are already gone from here. They are already in the industry. Their seniors are already working in some good corporates, and also they can opt for the practical knowledge, which as already I told you. So this will be a message to a student. But I personally believe KSM is the very good premium school for an MBA, and all kind of exposures are already here, and they should just have a right access to it. If they are going to have a right access and right mindset, it will really help them to grow to the next level.
Today it was an engaging meeting with Mr. Manoj Singh, who brings years of experience in whether it has been investment banking or financial services. In the process, he has given many actually gems of advices for our students and for all the people who are listening to this, how one can make a career in the field of finance. And this finance field is very big. It's not limited, and with the kind of reforms that we are embracing, the field is increasing and the sky is the limit.